What's up, Taiwan? I'm Sandy Chi with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Members of Taiwanese Indigenous Amis group are angry at a hotel that used one of their traditional events to attract tourists. Bryn Thomas has the story.
Tourists were recently invited to an Indigenous cultural festival in central Taiwan, but their tour was organized without the permission of the Indigenous Taiwanese people holding the event. Festival participants were angered by what they call the commodification of their culture.
当我们正在做文化学习这件事情的时候，然后一堆游览车出现，带着相机拍照。如果这个是一个教室，或者是这是学校，就是外面有那么多游客，这是被接受的吗？
The event was organized by a local hotel and marketed as a romantic and joyous festival. The hotel has since issued an apology, but community leaders say it is not enough.
总归一句，就审理的负责人或是相关的公关人员，要正式的道歉，不能再一昧的推给员工。
The incident throws a spotlight on the role Taiwan's indigenous groups play in domestic tourism. Local leaders say that while certain events are open to the public, organizers should consult with them before scheduling tours and respect their traditions.
不管是旅行社或是饭店，在安排游程上，如果要带进部落，一定要征询各部落的意见。在丰年节之前，其实花莲县政府也都会征询各部落的意见，告知重要的事项，要尊重各部落的文化。
Many indigenous groups in Taiwan are happy to share their culture with outsiders, but as with anywhere else, guests should be invited if they're to be truly welcome. Howard Chong and Bryn Thomas for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's fishers have caught a record number of bluefin tuna in northeastern Yilan County. This year, almost 3,900 have been caught, the highest number in 20 years, and the season is not yet over. These massive fish can weigh over 300 kilograms, and they arrive at Taiwan's east coast each spring. The local Fishers Association is crediting the record catch to a decade-old agreement between Taiwan and Japan. The pact created an area where fishers could work in waters that both countries lay claim to. Conservationists say global bluefin populations are growing, but all three species are still facing pressure from overfishing. Taiwan is known for being a foodie's paradise, and this week, a new award was announced to celebrate the country's cheaper dining options. Leslie Liao has more.
Ask anyone. Taiwan's got food, lots of it. From Michelin-starred fine dining restaurants to humble food stalls, well, Taiwan's got it all. And while much of the time it's the fancy eateries that get all of the attention, you don't want to miss out on some of the smaller establishments in the country. That's the thinking behind the very first 500 Bowls Food Awards. Really good food. The 500 Bowls Food Awards is a celebration of this, with the added caveat of affordability. It highlights Taiwan's 小吃 or snacks, smaller dishes that are both delicious and cheap.
在台湾的美食地图上，新增加了一块领域里面的指标。除了餐厅里面的盘餐之外，我们增加了小吃这个领域的指标。
If that concept sounds familiar, then you might be thinking about the Michelin Bib Gourmand, which evaluates a country's restaurants based on value. That's why the 500 Bowls is colloquially referred to as Taiwan's Bib Gourmand. Here's how it works. 50 judges, made up of chefs, writers, athletes, YouTubers, and more, list their 10 favorite cheap eateries. Every nomination a restaurant gets represents one bowl. 50 judges naming 10 eateries each is how you get the titular 500 bowls. But because of overlap, there aren't actually 500 restaurants on the list, just 441. Over 40 of the restaurants were put forward by more than one judge, but one place managed to dominate the awards.
恭喜今年最多碗的得主7碗得主全控肉饭在彰化。
A food stall in central Taiwan's Changhua City earned 7 bowls thanks to its signature dish, soy sauce braised pork over rice. It's deceptively simple, but popular for a reason. Food selection in Taiwan is vast, and that's why 500 bowls may be necessary to do the country's food scene justice. But since several judges decided to give their bowls to the same restaurants, it's clear there are still favorites. Eason Sun and Leslie Liao for TaiwanPlus.
The cast of a musical based on a classic Taiwanese film reunited in Taipei in the past weekend for the production's 20th anniversary. Yvonne Young was there.
A mini wedding expo was held in a hotel in Taipei on a Sunday in late June. It had all kinds of services anyone could book for their own ceremony. But there was one musical performance that was strictly a one-off. Love songs performed by a couple of unusual wedding singers, Broadway actors Willie Young and Dina Morishita. The musical actors were in Taiwan to mark the 20th anniversary of the Wedding Banquet, the musical, with the original cast reunited for a special live concert. The Wedding Banquet was first a 1993 movie from Taiwan-born director Ang Lee, telling the story of the struggle between a gay man and his family. The film was adapted as a stage musical in 2003.
After 20 years, we decided to bring it back, and we had a wonderful opportunity to bring it to Taiwan.
Young and Morishita met in Broadway when there were not many opportunities for Asian actors. Young founded a production company called Second Generation in an effort to put Asian actors center stage. 20 years later, what's Broadway like for Asians now?
It was really wonderful to give many Asian American performers their first opportunity to perform on a big stage, and then now, like the first Asian American Hamilton, his very first show ever was Making Tracks, actually, that we did.
For Morishita, back when she started performing, there was only one Broadway show that had roles for Asians, Miss Saigon. She said the scene has changed a lot.
There are more opportunities, and people are they're writing roles that aren't specific for any kind of ethnicity.
After the anniversary concert, Young revealed they're working on the reboot of their musical. They have written a number of new songs for the new adaptation, and they have made some plot changes to bring it up to date, given the large strides society has made in the acceptance of LGBTQ people and culture.
But most importantly, it was about discovering what the universal themes of the musical are and of the story, and emphasizing that love is love, and that family is family, no matter what it looks like.
Language presents another challenge. In an immigrant family, each generation might speak a different language, something they've thought to introduce to the remake.
So we always had a language barrier between our other generation. And so it was important for us to emphasize that, so we translated the parents' songs into Mandarin. And then, and we have a little bit of Taiwanese in there.
After decades in the industry, Young is still working on making Taiwan seen in the world.
And we want to continue to bring artists to Taiwan, and then continue to bring Taiwan stories to the world. That's our dream.
Remaking a musical from 20 years ago, adapted from a movie from a decade before that, Young continues to find new contemporary resonance for the source material, proving Ang Lee's original Wedding Banquet is truly an everlasting feast. Devon Tai and Yvonne Young for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally today, we leave you with images of a life-sized Barbie dream house in Malibu, California. I'm Sandy Chi. Take care and see you next time.